up, chat? What's up, chat? Got to get back at it, man.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
We got a few things that's going on. We got, Trump threw out a new executive order that has something to do with birthright citizenship. It's a little bit different than his original one. He kind of switched it up this time that if they call it birth tourism because there's a lot of people that come over here just to have a baby. So he's trying to block the people that are illegal from coming over here just to deliver a baby. It's called what they call it. Let's see. They call it birth tourism. Well, they come over here, just so their kids can be U.S. citizens. And Trump put out a new executive order for that. Now, what we're going to find out is that is it going to get knocked down by the Supreme Court like the original Birthright Citizenship executive order did? So in this video, we're going to react to it. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I will be stopping from time to time, because, that's what I got to do. I can't play the whole video all the way out like I used to. I got to stop. I got to give my, thoughts on it as we watch it together. So as you come in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you cut on all post notification bells so you know when we go live. Hope everybody having a great Sunday as we get ready to kick up football. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. It's going to be some changes to the channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to erase probably mostly all my videos, and we're going to try to start this all over the right way. I got a lot of videos where I was just playing, because people in the chat didn't want me, they want to just hear what we are talking about, hear what we are reacting to. And I wasn't doing that much talking in a lot of my videos. So a lot of those videos I'm going to take down. I'm going to erase, and we're going to do it the proper way, meaning that when we are reacting to the videos, because I like doing this, but because people in the chat, wanted me to not say nothing but just let it play, I can't do that anymore. So from this time moving forward, I will be talking a lot. You know what I'm saying? My the live streams that I do let play out, because sometimes I need to shut up. Sometimes I need to shut up, and sometimes I need to just let it play. Whatever's going on in the world, you know what I'm saying? I got to take off my content creation hat and put on my hat. Well, people need to hear this, and I need to shut up. So those videos, chat, I'm still going to do that because a lot of people like me to just shut up. But those videos, I'm just going to automatically delete or save, something like that. I will not be uploading to the channel anymore, because if I do that, then, YouTube got a thing where it's called reuse content. You can't just play stuff like this and not say nothing, so I won't be doing that anymore. And if I do it, I will not upload it. It'll be just for information, just for us to hear, whatever something very, very important with what's going on around the world, what's going on in America, what's going on in the economy. Whenever something happens, we have to show it, but then I don't have to upload it. So that's how we're going to rock with that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be able to kill two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because I'm still learning, I'm still learning this content creation, how it goes, and I gotta do it the right way, like some of the lives, I'm gonna play music. Well, those videos is just for a live. I'm gonna start doing more pre-records. I'm gonna start doing more videos. I'm saying? I'm gonna start breaking a lot of these things down and uploading videos, and on the lives, I'm gonna continue to do the walk down, and live streams. I'm gonna continue to do a show like this, but it's not gonna be long. No, unless it's a reason for it to be long. You know, like I said, if something happened and we need to get the word out to the masses, because most people don't watch the news. You know, most people don't watch the news. Most people get their information from the internet. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're gonna rock with it. You know what I'm saying? What's up, the Don? Appreciate you for coming through. What's up? Oh man. Okay. Let me get this over here ready. Hold up. I didn't cut on my other computer right here, so I'm gonna just use my phone, chat. We got two different things we're gonna react to, two different things we want to listen to. Let me make sure this is straight. Okay. We got two different things we're gonna listen to. We're gonna find out a little bit more information about this new executive order when it comes to birthright citizenship. We're gonna react to that. And then we're gonna react to the round table. You know what I'm saying? The round table that President Trump had talking to the mining industry. You know what I'm saying? I might play that first, a little bit of that, because you know, usually on these type of conversations, Donald Trump always give us some nuggets, something that we could take. We got 16 people in the building. Y'all do me a favor, double tap the screen. You know what I'm saying? Double tap the screen. You know, we got, okay, wherever you watching from now, I can see everybody. If you live on Kick, if you live on Rumble, if you live on Twitch, wherever you at on YouTube, double tap the screen and cut on all post notification bells. But I think right now we're going to react to this executive order. Because a lot of people say, well, dang, what is the difference between the first one and the second one? I think the first one was a straight out rejecting of birthright citizenship. The second one is about tourism, you know, because people come over here just to have a baby. They're calling them birth tourism. So it's a little bit different than the first one. So, okay, let's go. We're going to go and play a chat. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Let me make sure this is the right one. Let me make sure. Boom. Yeah, here we go. Let's rock.
Concerning birthright, it was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair. This was done for a different reason. This was done right after the Civil War. This was for the babies of slaves. And what's happening now, people are building businesses around it. From wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen.
The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief to sign first an executive order using the new ruling the Supreme Court issued to expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments. And so with taking this action, it ensures that large numbers of people who wrongly would be getting birthright citizenship will no longer be eligible for those benefits. The second action that he's taking, which is especially historic, is for the first time ever in American history to ban birth tourism. So I want you to really let that sink in. This has been something that people have talked about not only for years, but for decades. So that practice of birth tourism is, as of the signing of this order, hereby banned. And what that means is that no one in the world is any more allowed to obtain a visa for this fraudulent
Wait, what
purpose.
happened? Oh, man. Hold on,
We do
Chad.
want to continue on with our top stories. And
That was
in
the
fact,
wrong
right
clip.
now, speaking live there in the White House, we have this vantage point of President Trump. This shot just now came into our newsroom. Let's pop up the
Well,
audio
we keep
and
it
listen
rolling
in.
from here. Same thing, different outlet.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a few subjects that we're going to discuss, all important, but one in particular important having to do with birthright citizenship. And Will, if you would, maybe you could, we'll start it off with what Howard's going to be discussing.
So, a short while ago, sir, you signed an order relating to the polysilicon industry. This is a...
Yeah, my bad, chat. That other one, that was the wrong video. This one is the wrong video too, but we're going to go and roll with it. Let me know in the chat what you think about this new executive order, about this tourism stuff, about this birthright tourism. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure that this one is right. Let me make sure. Yeah, this is the right one. Let me know in the chat what you think about this new executive order.
Series of trade and tariff.
Let me know. Either way it go, what do you think? Do you think that it should be okay for people from other countries to come over here and have kids, and the kids are automatically U.S. citizens? Let me know what you think about this new executive order.
Actions under Section 232 intended to ensure that domestic polysilicon manufacturing is properly supported and protected from overseas dumping and offshore threats. Howard can speak more to the details, but polysilicon is incredibly important in the chip-making industry and a number of other industries as well. And like many of your previous trade actions, sir, this is intended to ensure that we're onshoring manufacturing capacity, that we're onshoring our own supply of critical products, and that we're protecting American industry from malign foreign actors in that space.
Thank you.
So polysilicon is sort of the foundational product that makes silicon wafers that become the AI chips and the chips that are in our phones and everything. So the president's policies have brought 50% of production into America. But we need the foundational products made here. Otherwise, you know, we're making the products here, but we need the supply chain here. So this will bring the supply chain here. We're setting prices so that the Chinese can't dump anymore, and we're setting tariffs to say build it here. We've got the industry here. It's too small, and it's going to explode under your leadership.
And we're having massive numbers of, I guess you'd call them factories or plants built having to do with the manufacturing of chips, more than we've ever had before. Intel, we're very proud of. They've done incredible. They've really been an incredible company. But we're doing some unbelievable business. Chips will have a big percentage of the chip business by the time I leave office, which could be a long time. Who knows? But it could also be fairly quick. They say 2.5 years. We're going to find out. But I just want to say that it's an honor to have worked with a very smart group of people. And we're bringing the chip business back into the United States in a very big way. Jameson, do you have anything to say about that?
Sir, I think you need to put this in the context of everything else that's happening. Manufacturing productivity is the highest it's been in years. We haven't seen any growth like this for forever. Under President Biden, the last part of his presidency, he lost 220,000 manufacturing jobs. The president has stabilized this. Now the manufacturing jobs are going up. So all of these indicators on manufacturing are happening, and it's because of tariffs, it's because of trade actions, it's because of the investment credits you've given people, the tax credits, everything you're doing, the energy policy, all of it is bringing manufacturing back here, protecting American workers and American jobs.
Well, tariffs are bringing us hundreds of billions of dollars worth of dollars. I mean, just money, the money that we've never seen anything like it, with no inflation. By the way, everyone said, oh, there'll be inflation. We have very low inflation. We brought inflation way down. I inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but I say the history of our country, and from the Biden administration, and we're bringing it way down. So the numbers that I mean, beyond the money being brought in, the number of factories being built in our country is more now than we have ever.
Hey, what's up, ATM Tim? What's up, OG Nappy Pappy? What's going on, chat? How y'all doing this morning? Hope everybody having a great morning. We are reacting to Donald Trump. We're waiting on to get a little information about this executive order about birthright citizenship, as he talk about chips, and we're gonna be the leader in chips and all this stuff. So we just gonna react to what Donald Trump got going on, chat. Hopefully he throw a couple companies out there, you know. Hopefully he throw a couple companies out there, and what I'll do is switch over and I'm gonna pull it up on the chart, and we're gonna see what it worked with. So appreciate y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's go.
Seen before. There's never been anything like it. And you're going to see the results. And you're seeing the results already in construction jobs because they're being built all over the country. But in another year, as they start to open, there's never been, we call it the golden age of America, and that's what it is. Now, if we could talk, Steve, maybe you could discuss what we're dealing with on birthright citizenship. We had a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court concerning birthright. It was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair. This was done for a different reason. This was done right after the Civil War. This was for the babies of slaves. And what's happening now, people are...
What's up, chat? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this new executive order as he rolls it out. Let me know what y'all think. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? Let me know, chat, what y'all think about this. We got 36 people in the building, 50 people in the building. Y'all do me a favor and double tap the screen.
Are building businesses around it. From wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen. So, Steve, if you will, please.
Yes, so today the president signed these two executive orders here relating to birthright citizenship and birth tourism. As the president mentioned, the 14th Amendment was passed exclusively in the aftermath of the Civil War so to ensure that the children of slaves... Hey, what's up, Critical 509? It had no other meaning and purpose outside of that. And that's been clear, obviously, since the day that it was passed. You can go back and you can read the congressional debates. This is not something that's even seriously contested by anybody. The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief to sign first an executive order using the new ruling the Supreme Court issued to expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments. And so with taking this action, it ensures that large numbers of people who wrongly would be getting birthright citizenship will no longer be eligible for those benefits. The second action that he's taking, which is especially historic, is for the first time ever in American history to ban birth tourism. So I want you to really let that sink in. This has been something that people have talked about not only for years, but for decades. The idea that people come here pretending to be a tourist, pretending to be a visitor, saying they want to go to Disneyland, or they want to go visit a monument or go to a national park, but the real reason they're here is to have a child, to make that child an automatic citizen, leave our country, and then have a U.S. citizen child. It gives them access under this broken system to welfare benefits, ultimately to the voting booth, and all the other rights and privileges that belong solely to Americans. So that practice of birth tourism is, as of the signing of this order, hereby banned. And what that means is that no one in the world is any more allowed to obtain a visa for this fraudulent purpose. It is probably, and President Trump has done many historic things on immigration, too many to list now, sealed the southern border shut, record deportations, record integrity, stopping foreign terrorist entry, record reduction in drug seizures, dismantling criminal cartels, dismantling the gangs, right? Everything he's done that has been so unprecedented. I would put this in the top 3 in terms of importance because it ends what has been one of the gravest and most egregious abuses of the American system, and it keeps American citizenship sacred.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. President.
That's big stuff. That's a big deal.
Mr. President.
Thank you. On the birth tourism executive order, what are the plans for enforcement in terms of cracking down on tourism, hotels this common in parts of
we're cracking down very big crackdowns, and this will give us the right to do it in a much more forceful manner. But they've taken birthright citizenship and they've made a joke out of it, and we're actually the only country of size, I think just about the only country, period, that does birthright citizenship. I thought we were going to win it at the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, we had a bad decision, very unfair decision. Our country suffers because of it, and we're ending it a different way.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Mr. President, at the Supreme Court, John Sauer, the Solicitor General, did not have an answer as to how many individuals take advantage of birth tourism. Is there a number that you can
I'll tell you
cite?
right now, hundreds of thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands. You have one man came in with a family, said he had 56 children. Another one came in, they said they had 98 children. This was not what it was for. This was meant for the babies of slaves. It was right after 1 week or 2 weeks after the Civil War ended. This wasn't for wealthy multi-millionaires, billionaires coming in and bringing 15, 20, 30 children along with them. It's become a big business, and we're ending that business, please.
What makes you confident, Mr. President, that this will pass constitutional muster?
I think it will. I think, in fact, I asked a very talented person named Will Scharf, who's standing right behind me. Do you want to discuss that, Will? You felt pretty strongly about it.
So I see what they did, Chad. The old executive order that got shut down, that got upheld by the Supreme Court, they restructured it and put it out as, they call it birth tourism. So he's thinking that just because he wrote the executive order, that doesn't mean that it's going to automatically turn into law. It has the Supreme Court can knock it down, but he's thinking that the Supreme Court is going to go along with this one, meaning that, you know, people can't come over here and scam the system and come over here just to have a baby. You know, they say there's a lot of that going on. People from overseas coming over here just to have a baby, just to get, give them the American dream. You know, if you come over here, we want you to come over here correctly, the right way. So we're gonna see how this is going to roll out as we continue to watch this chat. We got 135 people in the building. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. I am your host, and this is the Freedom of Speech channel, and I need y'all to do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. We need a worldwide shutdown. It was the only way the Democrats were going to win the 2020 election. Great comment, Critical 509. Appreciate you for coming through. But yeah, chat, make sure y'all double tap the screen. Let me know. Either way, it's the freedom of speech. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I appreciate every last one of y'all for joining me. We're going to keep this going. Let me know what you think about this birth tourism, as they calling it. Let me know what y'all think. It's very, very important. Let's go.
The law is absolutely clear. What we're talking about, as Stephen said, with respect to birth tourism, something that used to happen incidentally, where somebody who happened to be on vacation here went into labor early and had a baby. This was sort of a relatively small problem. What we've seen in recent years, though, is organized rings, at times criminal rings, setting up a system whereby tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people can come to this country in an organized fashion and give birth here purely for the sake of obtaining birthright citizenship. This order takes a number of different actions intended to combat those sorts of organized practices. We look very heavily at denying visas.
If you want to be a citizen
to people
of
that we
America,
have reason to believe
you have
are
to
coming
go
here
through
for
the
that
proper
purpose.
channel.
Visas both for putative parents, but also for the people organizing these rings. There's also obviously a law enforcement component. We'll have a full fact sheet released on this soon, but what we're doing is taking legally validated means that are clearly within our disposal and targeting them square on to this birth tourism industry. There's absolutely nothing in here that runs afoul of any of the Supreme Court's opinions on the subject. This is, frankly, it's action that's overdue, and I'm thankful that President Trump is finally taking decisive action to combat this issue of birth tourism now that it's been queued up in the way that it has as a result of the Supreme Court's opinion.
This should have been done a long time ago. This should have happened years ago, but we're taking care of it now, please.
Thank you. Can you help us understand how you distinguish between a tourist and a birth tourist?
Well, I'll let you discuss it, please.
Yes, happy to. And so, by the way, that's an excellent presentation.
Thank you,
Will.
Stephen.
For those of you who want to do your research on this, Section 215A of the Immigration and Nationality Act gives the president this authority. 215A of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Very rarely used, probably one of the strongest laws in the entire federal code gives him this power. And that's not the only, but it's the main statutory authority that's being used in this order. So birth tourism is by definition a fraud on the American system, on the American taxpayer, on the American visa. If you're coming here, and again, your stated purpose is that you're a tourist, then by definition, you are here to come for a few weeks, look at what we have, engage in commerce, and leave. So if you're telling a consular officer you're here as a tourist, but your true purpose and intent is to go to a baby mill, give birth, and try to mint an American citizen while you're here, then you're committing a fraud against the American government. And by definition, that visa can and should and will be now denied.
Mr. President, there is a report that you told donors that they need to get J.D. Vance elected in 2028. Is that your official endorsement?
No. I heard about.
Boy, they trying to get that in, Chad. I've been hearing a lot of people trying to sneak J.D. Vance in. You know, will J.D. Vance be the next president? Will Trump endorse him? Was that an endorsement for J.D. Vance? They're trying to get that in here and there, trying to figure out what's going to happen in 2028. They trying to get it in there, but Trump said that was not an endorsement on J.D. Vance in 2028. So how many of y'all in the chat rocking with J.D. Vance for 2028? Let me know in the chat. Who is rocking with J.D. Vance in 2028? Who in the chat rocking with J.D. Vance?
About it a little while ago. I think he's great, but we're way too early to even be thinking about that.
Ah, bro.
Okay.
And Mr. President, Republicans are arguing a lot right now about affordability. What is your message?
Chad, he says way too early. Bro, we got 2 years left. It's not too early. Like, these 2 years are going to go by just like that, Chad. Come on now, we need to know, what are you going to endorse? J.D. Vance, or, you know, there's the other guy in the room. There's another guy in the room. So y'all all know who the other guy is. So as we come up on midterm, which, you know, midterms is right around the corner. Midterms is right there. Yeah, I think, you know what, now that I think about it, Chad, he might be right. It's a little bit too early to be worrying about 2028. Why, Stock Sniper? Because we got midterms right there knocking at the door. We got midterms knocking at the door, Chad. We got midterms knocking at the door. So that's what the main focus needs to be right now, the midterm. So now that I think about it, I changed my mind. Yeah, they need to focus on the midterm. They need to focus on getting this economy rolling. Because guess what? If the Democrats take this midterm, it gives them a little bit of the momentum. It gives them a little bit of the momentum. What y'all think about that, Chad? What y'all think about what I just said? Let me know in the comment section. What y'all think? What y'all think about the midterm elections that's coming up at the end of the year? What y'all think about that? Let me know.
On affordability going into the midterm?
Well, that's a good question, but it's sort of simple to answer. I inherited the highest prices ever. I inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we have done an amazing job. And oil prices now are coming down very rapidly. If you look at what's going on, it's down to 75. When I started the very important excursion into the Islamic Republic of Iran, it was a very important excursion because they can't have a nuclear weapon. Otherwise, the whole world would get blown up. We're not going to let that happen. Not only us, not only the Middle East, the whole world would have been catastrophic. We had no choice. We had oil down to less than 2, in many places like Iowa, Oil was down to, gasoline was down at numbers that people hadn't seen in years. $1.85, $1.95. So it passed Tuesday. I was in Iowa at a stop, and we had $1.95, another one, $1.85 a gallon. And we'll see those days pretty soon again, based on everything I see, as soon as the war ends. And I think it's going to end pretty soon. I don't think they can go much longer. Yeah, please.
Has a deal been reached to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, I don't want to say it has been. It's sort of open right now. You know, we have a thing called the blockade headed up by the U.S. Navy, and we control it. And now we control it, but they can always shoot something. They always have something or drop a mine. And if you have one mine sitting out there, you sort of mess things up because people don't want to take their billion-dollar boats and accidentally get hit by them.
I hate to say it, Chad, but I got to end the stream. I got to end the stream. I got something I got to take care of, and I can't wait. So we got 128 people all together in the building. Wherever you're watching me from, whether it's Kick, whether it's Rumble, whether it's Twitch, whether it's YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. I'm gonna come back later on tonight. I got an emergency that I got to take care of right now. So I'm gonna come back on later on tonight, chat. I appreciate all y'all for coming in here rocking with me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and cut on all notification bells. If you're watching on Rumble, it should be a button where you can subscribe. Kick, hit that like button so you can be a part of the channel. Twitch, cut on that subscribe channel. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, but I got to go right now, chat. I will be back as soon as I get through taking care of what I got to take of. Unfortunately, something came up. It's called life. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. We was getting ready to rock a good show. We was finna get ready to rock a good show, chat. But I got to go. I got to go. I love and I appreciate y'all, everybody, for coming in and rocking with me. I love and I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's been supporting this channel, I love and I appreciate y'all. This channel couldn't be what it is without y'all. And I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great, amazing day. If everything goes right, I will be back. It's going to be later on, probably about 7, 8 o'clock. So make sure you be looking for the notification. This is the Freedom of Speech channel. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out.